She is sweet, I tell ya. Unbelievable. The oil injection works great. And yeah, fantastic. Hey guys, well, we've got a new project, new bike in the garage. Well, not quite in the garage, in the driveway here. But it is a 1975 Bombardier 250 TNT. And I'm super excited to work on it. I bought it from the original owner who purchased it in 1975. And it is in really good mechanical shape. It's got definitely a number of cosmetic issues, but so far it seems to be in really great shape from what I've seen of it so far. You know, these machines are absolutely amazing. For those of you that don't know Can-Am machines, Can-Am was a Canadian manufacturer owned by Bombardier. They're still around. They make all kinds of things, skidoos, you know, four-wheelers, all kinds of stuff. You're probably familiar with them. But back in the day, they made some amazing motorcycles that were absolutely dominated the motocross circuit, and this bike was one of those. The 250, you know, Can-Am in 1974 won first, second, and third in the AMA championships, with Gary Jones coming first, Marty Trippus coming second, and Jimmy Ellis, the amazing Jimmy Ellis, coming in third. So they actually swept the AMAs in 1974. This bike is, of course, a 1975. And this is an enduro version, so it does have, you know, lights and turn signals, and is fully insured for the road. Again, the guy I bought it off of, he bought this thing brand new in 1975. I've got the last time it was registered, though, for the road was 1984 by the looks of it. But it's all in my name, and I've actually got road insurance for it. In fact, I've just kind of got that stuck over top of the plate that I've got on it currently, just to kind of show you how it was when I got it. It does have, for those of you that know these bikes, you might be saying, hey, where's the Bazooka exhaust? Where's the Bazooka exhaust? That's not right. Actually, that is exactly correct for this bike. These bikes, actually, when you bought the bike, you had an option of having the Bazooka exhaust or having the topside exhaust like this one. And this exhaust was an added, an extra feature. And the bonus of this, if you know the Bazooka exhaust, it comes down, you know, it comes down underneath the bike like this. And so if you were actually riding this bike off-road, it would almost always damage these exhausts. The value of this one, as opposed to the Bazooka exhaust, is that you could ride the bike a bit more aggressively. But if we take a look at this particular bike, although he bought that option, now let's take a look at that skid plate. I've done nothing. I've not touched anything up. I've not done anything. You can just see this bike is, you know, has not been abused in any which way, other than just use. Now, there are a few things that are not right about it. That front fender is incorrect. That's an F. He broke the fender and just slapped a fender on it. That's wrong. The other fender here has definitely got a fair bit of patina. It's all cracked. It's got your, you know, 1975 plastic that's cracked there. Apparently a buddy's bike broke down, and they had the double back, and the guy was kind of sitting on the fender, and that's what did that. But in any event, but in terms of the way this thing runs, it just fires up and just goes. So it's really good. In terms of the mileage on it, we have 2,386 miles on it, which is yeah, pretty low. And there's a few other things that aren't right as well. Those mirrors definitely need to go. Those are wrong. He went and he to sell the bike, he went and he wanted to make sure it was, because obviously it's an enduro, he wanted to make sure that it had all the things it needed, turn signals, you know, mirrors, etc. So those are not original mirrors at all. I'll be putting some different mirrors on it. And in terms of the effort for this project, what we're going to do is we're going to go through it mechanically to make sure it actually is mechanically as good as it seems to be. And then once we've got that figured out, then we're going to go and deal with going and putting on, you know, the right fenders. We're going to completely redo the gas tank, which is going to be quite an effort. It's probably going to be one of the bigger jobs. We'll be putting the new Can-Am graphics on it. You can kind of see the old faded ones on there right now. If you know where it had fallen off, and that's typical for these gas tanks because they're plastic tanks. The gas vapors kind of you know, leach through the gas tank, and the causes the graphics to just fall off, which is totally normal. And in fact, when we restore this tank, we're going to have to do some significant stuff to make sure that doesn't happen again. We're also going to, of course, replace the you know, the this fender as well, being broken. This tail light is also broken. Whether or not we can find another one of those, I don't know. I've looked around a little bit. They seem like a little bit like unobtainium, but we'll see what we can do to find that, because this one obviously was cracked and repaired. It's not too bad. Worst case, we may just leave that. The effort here isn't going to be to make a concourse bike, but to make it look essentially like it did in the 1970s when you were riding it around. So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're not going to worry about, I want this to be a rider, not some sort of concourse machine, right? Yeah, there's a few other things. Obviously, we need new grips. Like, you know, the grips are as you'd expect. Broken brake lever, all kinds of stuff to do. It's actually kind of exciting. So, yeah, we'll put a new seat cover on it as well. This seat cover is, it looks like we got some black RTV there, patching up that hole. Yeah. But generally speaking, I mean, I picked this thing up for a song. I'm not going to tell you what I got it for, but I got it very reasonably, and I am really excited to do the work on this one. So hopefully you guys are too. So you know what? Let's get her into the garage. Let's maybe fire it up, and we'll talk about it a bit more. Okay, so we've got the bike in the garage now, so we can take a little bit of a closer look at it. And you know, one of the things that really made these bikes great, in fact, the thing that made these bikes great are the Rotax engines, okay? Now, Rotax actually is also a division of, or was, I don't know if it still is, a division of Bombardier. I think it actually still is. The engines are made in Austria. One of the things that's really quite unique about them, or quite different, and one of the things that really gave them crazy power for such a small package, was the fact that they are rotary induction engines. Now, most two-strokes is a two-stroke, of course, not a four-stroke engine. I guess I should have mentioned that. But most two-stroke engines are either port induction or reed induction engines, and you know, those are quite common. You know, you think of chainsaws or outboard motors or even dirt bikes, but not this one. This one is completely different. It's rotary valve induction, and I've never worked on one, but suffice to say, it's what made these bikes absolutely killer machines. They would put out 20 plus more horsepower than all the other 250s, and this is why they dominated the motocross circuit in the mid-1970s, absolutely destroying the field. The likes of Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Husqvarna, you know, none of them could keep up with these bikes. So, not only that, it's a super light package. This bike, when you start pushing it around, it's incredible. I've got an electric bike that's pretty heavy. I think my electric bike is about 70 or 80 pounds, and this feels more like pushing around an electric bike than it does a motorcycle. It actually weighs, I believe, about 220 pounds fully wet. Like, it's unbelievably light for a motorcycle of this size. It's got a 33-inch seat height, but it doesn't really feel like a tall bike at all. I don't really know why that is. In terms of the suspension on it, it's got Beater. That's not meaning there's something wrong with them. That's the brand name. Beater front forks on it, and they're in really great shape. They're not leaking at all. I've already checked that out, so that's awesome. The gentleman did put on new, relatively new springs in the back, so shocks in the back. I don't know, a few years ago, I guess. But they seem to be fine as well. So again, mechanically, this bike seems pretty darn solid. The guy that owned it, I believe, actually, was quite handy, and he had, again, he'd had this bike since brand new, but it was just, he's just getting to be an older guy and just didn't want it anymore. So, the other thing he did is he put brand new tires on it. The tires on it are brand new, and again, he did that to make sure that it was roadworthy. So yeah, those tires literally are. You can see the little nubbies on them, or the little they're absolutely brand new, which is great. The other thing, I mean, obviously the bike is dirty and needs a really good clean, but if we take a look at the rims, it's actually, considering this thing is 1975, it's absolutely in really good shape. There's no dents, there's no dings. It's really pretty darn good. So, so anyways, I think the next step here is for me to fire it up and show you guys what it sounds like. I think that's probably the thing to do. So let's see what it is to fire it up. Maybe just before I do that, I'll talk about the starting procedure a little bit. Our ignition obviously is there. Don't need to explain that. It's got a Bing carburetor, and after working on the Triumph, it looks a lot like an enamel carburetor, and I think it operates very similarly. It does have a choke way back there. You get to it from the other side, but this bike, you don't need to use it because the bike just starts so nice and easy. There is also a tickler here, so let me see if I can get a little closer. Light's not super great. Let's see if you can see the tickler right there, that black thing. So that's the tickler. Again, very much like an enamel carburetor. To start this, you depress that until you get a little bit of fuel coming out, and then the bike is ready to fire up. That's it. You push this, watch for a little bit of gas to come out. Obviously, you turn the petcocks on first. I don't need to tell you that. And when you see a little bit of gas, you turn the key, you give her a kick, and away she goes. So let's give it a go here in the garage. Maybe we'll open the garage doors a little bit. It's probably a good idea. And let's fire it up. Let's see what she does. Okay, so yeah, guys, let's fire this thing up. So as mentioned, we have to turn the fuel on, tickle the carbs, obviously kick it over. But just before we do that, I just wanted to mention that one of the things you might notice right away about this bike that's a little bit different is the kickstands on the right-hand side of the bike. She's leaning that away, which is a little bit different. So you approach the bike from that side to get onto it. Or I guess you could do it from this side too, but bottom line, the kickstand is over there. And the kickstart is on the left-hand side of the bike, right above the gear level. So the gear lever is correct, but the kickstart is over here. So there's definitely some differences relative to a normal bike. And I have to admit, even like pushing it around or whatever, it's a little bit, you push it around and you realize, oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong side of the bike to put the darn kickstand down. Stuff like that. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to. So, but anyways, yeah, let's do it. So let's turn the petcock on first. I think that's probably a pretty good idea. Okay, there's the petcock on, and let me just hang on to the this. This is absolutely stone cold. This thing has not been started at all today. Totally cold. So I'm going to tickle the carburetor here. So I'm going to hold this down until I see some fuel come out. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. I'm going to get onto the bike here. And turn the key on, we'll give her a kick. There's some guys out enjoying the sun there. Make sure we got the run button, run and off button over here turned on. We'll give her a go. Oh, I didn't have it on. Okay, this is the first kick with the bike on. I didn't have the key on. Yeah, and just like that, we got her going. So yeah, she is sweet, I tell ya. Unbelievable. The oil injection works great, and yeah, fantastic. That Rotax engine is just amazing. Okay, I think we've sufficiently filled the garage with two-stroke smoke, so I think that's probably good enough. Probably should have done that out on the driveway, but unfortunately the traffic is such here that that you wouldn't be a very good video if I did that. So, but in the event, man, I'm just totally stoked. That thing runs so darn good. It's incredible. So, yeah, quite excited about this. So I need to go to my computer and I need to order parts, and that's frankly what I'm doing right now. Is as I'm going through the bike, I already mentioned a bunch of things that need doing. I'm going to start the process of ordering, what we need to do a job on this, because yeah, it's a lot of this is just kind of bringing her back so she's got the look that she did in the 1970s when this was a new-ish bike. Again, we're not going to do a concourse restoration. We are just going to make it look a lot nicer than it does today, and that's going to be the goal. As well as we go, I'm sure we'll find some issues mechanically with it that we're going to fix up as well. So anyways, guys, I should mention that Can-Ams and Rotax engines, I am completely new to this. I don't know a thing about them other than what I've mentioned. I know they're super cool. I know I've wanted one since I was about 10, literally, but when these things came out. But other than that, I don't know too much. So please do let me know your thoughts. Let me know of things I should consider or maybe work on, or things that I should investigate. I would really appreciate the guidance and the information that you might have about these bikes. Actually, one thing I should note, there is one of the things I'd researched a little bit before I bought the bike is that I guess the kickstart is one of the issues that can be a bit of a failure point in the engine. And interestingly, the gentleman that I bought it from, that did happen with him, and he did replace that whole mechanism. So that has been fully taken care of. So I'll just be gentle with it as under my stewardship of this bike to make sure that I don't cause it to happen again. But yeah, that particular issue has been dealt with. But if there's anything else you guys think I should be checking out, let me know. Actually, you know what? I do have one thing I need to figure out is, obviously this thing takes two-stroke oil. What I should mention, it does have oil injection. So obviously your gas tank, here, but the oil, it does have oil injection, and it is the oil injector pump obviously is working really great. The previous gentleman said that he'd been recently putting synthetic 2-stroke into it, but I kind of wonder if that's really right, or whether I should be using a little bit more old school injector oil in this thing. I kind of would lean towards the older style oil rather than synthetic, but if any of you guys know what I should be using, I would really like to know that too. So anyways, guys, I do appreciate all of the comments, and I do, as you guys know, reply to every comment. So anybody, if you take the time to pop me a note, I guarantee you can be assured that I will pop you a note back. Okay, that's my commitment to you guys. And also, please subscribe. I mean, I could really use the subscribers. And you know, so if you're willing to do it, please do subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to do that. You literally just click a button. That's it. And of course, like the video too. Please do also like it. Anyways, guys. As you can tell, I'm a bit excited about this one. So, anyways, this will be the first in many videos, you know, as we work on this bike. So I'm going to get after it, and I will keep you up to date as to the progress as we move forward. So, anyways, guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope the sun is shining for you guys like it is here, and yeah, keep the rubber side down, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.